Hey again, travel bosses. I'm excited to bring you this week's sponsor, TripStreak, the smarter travel search. What I love about TripStreak is the ability to set your personal preferences to either have or avoid red-eye flights or have things like completely lie flat seats. So the next time you need to book a flight, check out tripstreak.com/travel-like-a-boss.
Welcome to the Travel Like a Boss podcast, the radio show all about traveling like a boss by being your own boss. Stay tuned for weekly interviews featuring guests that have built their own online businesses. If you would like to have access to our entire back catalog, visit travellikeabosspodcast.com for instant access. And here's your host, Johnny FD.
Hey guys, it's Johnny and welcome to episode 152 of the Travel Like a Boss podcast. I'm in Bali and I'm with Robert Botto.
Hello, everyone.
Arigato, Mr. Botto.
What's up? What's up, Yoda?
So, where are we right now?
We are sitting at your pretty nice hotel/villa spot with a great view of a pool in Canggu, Bali.
For $900 a month.
Pretty solid.
Steal.
It's
which
solid.
is a steal. All right, so I definitely want to get into like cost of living and kind of what Bali's like, but let's start more with who are you, Mr. Botto?
Okay. That's a very broad question, but I like it. I'll take that and run with it. So yeah, I am a location independent entrepreneur that has been doing online business, working with photography, and I am I guess you could say like a tech nerd, you know? So Futurism is kind of like, you know, my secret, what I'm into. So yeah.
Okay, so you believe there is a future?
More so like, you know, yeah, obviously, there's a future. Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's only right now.
Oh gosh, okay, here we go. This is what I've been going through in Chiang Mai and everywhere else.
Really? Actually, I'm actually kind of joking, but what actually is Futurism? I'm curious.
Futurism, it's kind of like, you know, I guess the technologies that could be coming on with, you know, from basically what's projected with our current rate of tech and innovation.
So just like AI and augmented reality, things like that, or just even beyond that?
Yeah, it's kind of that and a little bit beyond that as well. But for the most part, yeah, it's kind of going along those lines. And, you know, things like anything that Elon Musk kind of talks about is in the realm of, futurism.
So who wouldn't believe in that?
I guess, like, you know, the people that are stuck in the, Windows 97.
Is it because, I mean, obviously, these things are coming. Is it that they would rather kind of revert back to a day where we don't have smartphones, we're not connected online all the time?
Well, I think the tough part for a lot of people is change. And because technology is changing so rapidly, you know, some people get used to something and, you know, changing to something new is always going to be difficult. So, you know, that's the difficult part, I think, is like literally accepting that this is going to be a new reality. So, okay.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I think people get comfortable. They're like, you know what, it took me this long to figure out my BlackBerry. I'm not going to a freaking iPhone, like, and, you know, or it took me this long to figure out Facebook. I'm not using Snapchat, so I can see that.
Yeah, it's just a whole lot of, I think, the idea of trouble with change, and then like there's no way this is possible.
But I would imagine that these are like the type of people with that mindset would be like 50 plus. But you're saying like you've met like younger people that have that mentality?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you know, there's the people that are living, quote unquote, in the present. I mean, like truly through and through. And it's tough to, I guess, balance the idea of like, you know, truly believing in technology that's going to help innovate the world when you're trying to be present at the same time. So, I mean, I can see where they're coming from, but at the same token, like, you know, it's my reality is that.
And I definitely think there's definitely downsides to technology, and some people want to keep either their privacy, they want to keep being offline for whatever reason, just not like being on your phone all the time, right? So there's definitely a downside where if we were out for dinner or lunch and you're on your phone the whole time, that would suck. And I know there's a lot of people that don't want that. I don't want that either. But I do think that there's a way to have the advantages of technology without letting it consume us.
Yeah, it's a fine walking balance, and I think the generation below you and I is going to be it's going to be interesting to see how they interact socially with people and everything. Because they're the ones that are truly like growing up within the tech era, where, you know, you and I kind of hit it like when we were a little bit older, so we didn't actually physically grow up with it. Like my cousin's like 4 and she knows how to operate an entire iPad already, and like, you know, go on YouTube, all this good stuff.
Well, on the flip side, my cousin who came to visit is about 45, and he has one of those old Nokias with, you know, Snake on it, the gray and white ones.
Oh yeah.
And he refuses to get a smartphone because he doesn't want it to consume his life. He doesn't want to be bothered by his boss when he's out and have him say, you need to download this, spreadsheet or whatever it is, a legal doc, and go over it while you're out at dinner. So by him having a phone from, 1992, he tells his boss, like, I can't open it. If you need something, you can call me, but I'm probably not going to be very much help if I can't look at the document. So that way that work gets passed on to someone else, or they have to wait till the next day.
So, funny story. My father is identical to the situation. He is the same exact way. He still buys the old flip phones where, like, I'm like, Dad, they're not going to sell these anymore soon. He's like, oh, I'll find them. Don't worry. Like, I don't want the government tracking me. And I was like, what? What an answer, right? Like, he's like, I'm too dumb for a smartphone. That's what he says.
Well, here's the thing is, so when he came to visit, he had no map. All right. He's in another country, and Chiang Mai, especially Neiman where I was staying, is very easy to navigate.
Yeah.
And, he was late for something, was early for something. And I said, oh, well, we're at this cafe 3 blocks away. Just meet us here. And normally you can either drop a pin or you can just tell them the name. They can Google it. They can Google Map it. It's just very easy.
Yeah.
It took him like an hour to find us because, I had to try to explain to him directions over the phone, and then he went the wrong way, and then he was lost, and now he's like, okay, I gotta go back to the starting point. And I'm like, this is your fault by refusing to have a smartphone. And it's not that he can't afford it. He's a lawyer, he can afford it. And his sister has been insisting on giving him her old smartphones were just in a drawer for this whole time.
Just pass along iPhones, like, the archaic iPhones, but like for him, it's like still no.
That is how I got my first one. It was a iPhone 3GS, and I was so excited when I got it that I posted online saying I got an iPhone. I was showing it off to all my friends, and they were all like, "That's not a new one." And I'm like, "What do you mean? How can you tell it's not a new one?" And they're like, "It's clearly like not a new iPhone." But it was new to me.
Yeah.
That's what's so exciting.
I still, I can see that this is a hurdle for, I think, a certain demographic of people. They're just refusing to get past that one step of the tech, and when it comes to just as simple as an iPhone or a smartphone in general. Like, this is now not new technology at all.
And there's definitely so many benefits of it. And for me personally, I hate actually getting interrupted when I'm out. I don't want to be interrupted during this podcast. I don't want to be interrupted while I'm having lunch. So I don't have notifications on my phone at all. And you can watch my phone. I bet you, aside from like a new sale notification or something that I want to get, maybe like a message from a friend saying, do you want to grab lunch?
Right.
Not a Facebook message, but like an actual SMS or WhatsApp message. Aside from that, my phone will not go off at all. No Instagram notifications, no Twitter notifications, no Facebook notifications, no Facebook messengers, nothing.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm the complete polar opposite of you. And I think I need to get to that point, though, because like there's points in the day where like I've just put my phone on mute because like I'm tired of it vibrating. Because like I used to have a ringtone, but it kept on ringtone, like, the ringtone. My goal now is to figure out how the hell to get a app that can give me a notification every time I make a sale, but like mute everything else.
You can. Shopify.
Yeah, but you can't. How do you actually make it so it just notifies you just with the sale without having your media on? Like I want to have it muted for everything else.
So so the notifications you're getting are what? Instagram and
yeah, just like all the basic stuff.
Literally just turn all of them off.
Just turn them all off.
Just turn all of them off.
Go through it and turn it off.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I did.
That's easy.
And my life has been a million times better because of it.
Yeah.
So recommendation to everyone listening.
Just turn off all notifications except for what's making you money. I'm down for that, seriously,
right?
Because I want that, like every time I get them, like, all right, nice.
That's good. That's positive input.
Yeah.
Forget all the negative stuff. Forget all the, not even negative stuff. Like if someone likes my Instagram photo, great, right? But I don't need that little dose of dopamine all day. I don't want to get addicted to that and whenever I don't get that, think like, oh, my day is so crappy, even though I'm sitting out here in Bali, I'm like, oh, how come nobody's liking my photo? Fuck them. Like it doesn't matter. Log in, once a day. Just take a look and be like, oh, that was a good day. Make it move on.
Make it part of your routine in a sense. Yeah.
I
like that a lot for sure.
All right. So futurist, tech nerd. You grew up where?
Photographer. Yeah. I grew up in South Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah. So I grew up the 40 minutes from the shore and 35 minutes from Philadelphia. So South Jersey.
Very nice.
Middle of the farmland.
And how did you kind of start this journey of being location independent?
So I started this journey probably about 2.5 years ago, and it all happened to be from Dropship Lifestyle and actually your podcast.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, seriously, no joke. So it's kind of crazy that I'm here right now. But yeah, I literally was getting done with a old business, a digital franchise I purchased, and like
What's a digital franchise?
it was a competitor of Grubhub. So like you can imagine like it was the same idea of Grubhub, but I had like a territory, and my territory was like all of South Jersey.
Grubhub, is that like an online menu?
Yep. Yeah. So online food delivery kind of thing.
Okay.
So like,
how were you delivering food?
So my job was I bought basically the franchise model, digital quote unquote franchise, because it was literally buying the software and the platform to host all these restaurants and to work with them on special deals and whatnot. So like I was basically using their platform and bringing in all these restaurants and doing business. So I was like a middleman, I guess you could say.
Okay.
So like, I was making money off quantity. That was kind of like the game.
So
for me.
you bought into this franchise. They gave you the software to be able to list restaurants on their menus. Somebody orders off of your site. Mm-hmm. That company actually delivers it, or the restaurant delivers it? The
restaurant, yeah. And actually, at the end of the tail end of that, I was like, we were starting to work and build our own delivery service to like to make some extra money, because like, it was actually helping everyone in a sense.
That makes sense.
The people that couldn't offer delivery, we were offering it for them. So yeah, I started that like literally. I graduated in December of 2011 from Penn State, and January 2012, I started with my family business. My family owns a food manufacturing company that distributes across the country. And then,
what type of food?
Italian sausages, Italian meatballs,
Dude, hook it up, man.
Yeah, sure. No problem. Like,
I love some of that.
Yeah. So I jumped into that. I wanted to like learn, be part of the whole family business. And it was, really good. I went for agricultural business management. So like it made sense. And, from there, I was like working from 6 to like 3:30, 4 o'clock. And at that moment, like, I'd get home and I had so much time. And like, it's like, oh man, I'm eager. I'm still hungry at this time. So that's when I literally, like, I think it was February, I purchased the digital franchise.
Okay.
Like,
how much was that to buy into?
I had to get some loans from friends and family. It was a solid, like
over 10K.
Yeah.
So it's like quite a sizable.
Yeah. It was like a little over double that.
Oh.
So
like double, is it like 20K or like double, is it like?
Yeah, like, it was like 20 plus.
Oh man. Okay. But you know what? I guess that's what it costs, right? To start a business. What was the big benefit of, I understand from your point of view, from having the franchise model, why couldn't that company just do it on their own everywhere?
They believed in localized service and localized deals. So like part of my job as the owner was to go and meet these restaurant owners and like, kind of like get special exclusive deals and stuff like that, and run like these, once a quarter like campaigns that would like really bring in a lot of traffic.
That makes sense. And was that a profitable business?
Yeah, no, we did good. And like when I exited, someone came in and bought in because they were interested, and like they saw me making like, some momentum within the area, and like they bought in. They basically, I did pretty good with that. And then,
so I'm assuming you at least made back that 20 plus K.
It was, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we made that back. And then, when I exited, did a little bit better. And,
nice.
Yeah. So I don't
So it was a success.
It was a success for me. Yeah.
Okay,
For the most part. I don't think my partner at the time, did so well once I left. But
why do you think that was? Were you carrying some of the weight?
Yeah, I was, and I don't want to just go down that road. So just like that was a lesson learned for me when it comes to getting partnerships. Like I was eager, I wanted some extra money, and and I didn't go through it.
So I will never have another partnership again either. But actually, so ironically, Robert was one of my dropship partners. And, we can actually talk about that for a while. Like, I think it was like everybody benefited from it. So it was a good experience. But I think we all realized that partnerships suck. They just don't work.
It's very difficult. It is very, very difficult. It's hard. You can imagine it's a marriage with less benefits.
Yeah. And it's unnecessary benefits too. Like, so here's my thought on partnerships is one of the two partners will always end up doing way more work than the other. And it's not always, but then often people will think it's the opposite role. So the one that's actually doing like nothing is probably doing, maybe in their mind they think they're doing a lot. And then the one that's doing a lot maybe or thinks they're doing a lot, maybe is actually doing nothing. And it's usually this weird kind of conundrum. And I'm guilty of being on both sides. Even with just the partnership stores, there was like some people that I like spent a lot of time with and then just completely ignored the other people because I didn't have time for them, or they seemed like they were doing fine. Right. So I was like, okay, let me just focus on these problem ones. And then on some, I don't know. It's just like, I don't think partnerships in general work, even if you just have one business. And then if you try to like multiply it and try to juggle 10 at a time, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, it becomes 10 times more intensified, especially in your position for sure. And any partnership is almost really difficult, and as soon as you involve money, things get really intensified big time. Like it's no more like, it's just a friend partnership. It's now like money's involved and now things get real. And that's not saying for you and I, but like, in general, like that was my previous experience with, the franchise. It was as soon as money got involved, things got serious.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, I mean,
it's so crazy.
Yeah, the guy who bought in was like he was a old mayor of like this town that I used to sell in, like, and he approached me and everything. It was quite interesting, but like, he seemed like such a good person until money got involved, and then so it changes the
People
rules.
say that money is the root of all evil. I think money brings out the bad in people, and I guess as well as the good. But I think it mainly just kind of brings out the bad. So if someone has, everybody has a little bit of bad in them, I guess. But money just like, especially not just money, but like the scarcity of money or the greed of money, that's what amplifies people's bad points by like a million.
I think amplifies the word choice right there. Yeah, is one point for sure. Because I definitely think it amplifies 100%. Like, it brings it out for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So ironclad contracts. From now on, if you guys have to do a partnership, or if I have to do another partnership, ironclad contracts. For example, me and Sam Marks just finally signed a contract for Invest Like a Boss, even though we now have, I don't know how many episodes, 40 plus, and it's been like almost a year, but we were never making any money. We've been
never.
Yeah, we're losing money every month until up until this point, just because we're paying for podcast editing, hosting, giving away like gift cards, like just all this stuff, right? It all kind of adds up, and because there was never any money involved, as in making money, we just never cared, just like whatever. And then we got like our first like a commission from Amazon for like, referring all these books to them. People are like, oh yeah, buy this book, and people click the link, and we're like, okay, now we got a couple $100. How are we going to spend this? Like, should we go back and pay me back for like the money that I spent, floating
for the expenses and whatnot,
or should we like just, carry forward? Then it gets complicated. And luckily, both Sam and I have that abundance mentality when it comes to money, and both of us are like, whatever's fair. But now that we actually sat down, we talked about like what our expectations are. We wrote it down, and we didn't even sign it. We just literally sent each other an email. We replied saying, okay, I agree. And that's really enough. I think people just need to like really clarify the roles.
Clarification of roles is massive for sure. And expectations, really. I mean, like, it's, you don't want to be left in the dark and be confused in like what your role is. And I think the clarification is huge with role identification.
Yeah, definitely. So I learned a ton from this.
For sure.
So I heard that you have sold your partnership store.
I sold it, yeah. Okay. I sold it, on the Facebook group for the Dropship Lifestyle, which, once you're a member, you can get in. But yeah, there's a lot of active members in there. So yeah, someone actually picked it up, which is nice.
That's cool, right? So what was your reason for getting out of it?
Basically I had like, I couldn't figure out the AdWords technically. Yeah. That's basically the honest answer to that. And, I'm already juggling 3 other stores. So
how are your other stores? Are those profitable?
One isn't. Okay. And the other one I literally am just starting. So like,
okay. So why do you have so many other ones? I'm curious.
Well, I'm starting another one right now because it's going to be giving back to artisans in Morocco.
That's nice.
Morocco. Okay. So I mean, like, it's a very small. Like I want to be giving back. That's kind of like where I want to take dropshipping now. Like, and I think it's something past just money. It's now just, it's more of a basically social entrepreneurship. And I think that's why I want to slowly phase into that and sell my other ones that are just purely for money.
I like that. Good on you, man.
Yeah, man.
Actually, somebody had asked once, they're like, I think so dropshipping overall has a terrible name for whatever reason. I think it's number one, it's misunderstood. I think second, there's so many different types of dropshipping. And I remember one question someone asked, or one comment they made was, is there a way to dropship without selling like shitty products from China? And I responded, I'm like, I don't sell anything, like any shitty product from China.
Oh my gosh.
Like the stuff I sell is like handmade furniture in the US, from somebody in the US making it. And they actually use like eco-friendly materials and all this stuff. But I guess I never really talk about that. I just talk about like, people, and there are definitely people who are drop shipping stuff off AliExpress or Alibaba. Yep. That's like crappy items selling on Facebook.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, and I've dabbled with that as well. I'm not even gonna lie, I've done it, and I think for me, it's like I just want to touch every point of dropshipping to see, when people do give comments like that, I can give an honest answer back because, I actually am still doing that to this moment, like selling things through AliExpress, and like I believe in some of the items for the most part. I mean, like I'm selling, jewelry. So, there's about 1 million people doing the exact same thing I'm doing. And, we are still giving back on this site though. So it's like, we're planting trees, we're helping out with the environment. So it's not just about the items are like good quality as well. So it's not like, we're just putting up 1 million items and just saying like, screw it. Like, the consumer can, they can eat it. But like, we're actually going through and vetting the products a little bit. So,
and that's a good point because there's definitely a way to make any business or any, especially an online business where you have so much choice. With dropshipping, we're like, okay, if I don't like this supplier because they're using slave labor, I can use this other supplier that isn't. Maybe the prices are higher, but then I can market better and say, have that as be a feature. Yeah. So I definitely agree. There's definitely a way to make anything either sustainable, eco-friendly, or just like, a happy business. I don't want to say that.
Yeah, it's your choice. I mean, realistically, I mean, that's the best part of dropshipping because, dropshipping offers you the ability to basically, it gives you the ability to kind of pick and choose whatever you want because you're not physically bringing anything into your house or into your warehouse or buying anything. I mean, like, you can literally sell whatever you want. If you're a conscious person, then, you're not going to sell low quality goods. Yeah. That's basically the bottom line.
And I think in the long run, it's a bad idea anyway, because you're going to get bad reviews and get chargebacks, you can get returns. That's why I'd rather sell something that knows a good product. People are going to get it in a timely manner instead of, waiting 4 weeks or 6 weeks to get it. Something that could ship from the US.
Yeah.
And then have them be happy when they get it because that leads to positive reviews. That leads to them sharing with friends, be ordering.
You definitely want to keep a positive cycle in your business. I mean, like, no, I can't imagine. I guess there is people out there that are doing this, but I mean, realistically, like, why would you want to have any type of negativity around your business? Like, you want the entire cycle to be positive. Like, hopefully the people you're working with that you're buying from, it's positive. The people that are receiving it, it's positive. And then, you just giving out positive energy and you're going to receive positive energy.
I definitely agree. Especially with long-term thinking.
Yes. I mean, if you want to make some short-term money, I'm sure you can probably scam a shit ton of people, but like, but it's not the right way to go.
I don't even think, the worst definitely not even a scam because people that are selling the like low-priced Alibaba items, it's not that they're scamming people in a sense where people aren't getting the product. I think people have the wrong idea what a scam is, right?
That's also true.
Like a scam is you sell something that doesn't exist. Yeah. And then and then you disappear off the face of the earth and there's no way for them to like get the refund.
Yeah.
By selling like a subpar crappy product.
Yeah.
That people actually receive. I guess in some ways you could say that's a scam, but it's more like you're just selling really shitty products. And then, but then there's a way for people just to like get their money back, either ask for a refund or they can get a charge back to their credit card.
Yeah.
There needs to be different word for that.
Yeah, I guess scam isn't the right word. It's too loose because there's too many things that could be associated with it, honestly. Like, I think a scam.
Like a scam would be like you buy a pair of earrings online that says $19.99 and then you receive your bill and it's like there's an extra comma. It's like $1,999.
I literally like just think of like Bernie Madoff. Yeah. Like scam. Like,
I just listened to his interview on, I think it was on Audible. There's a book where he actually called like from jail. And here's the crazy thing is you can only talk for 15 minutes at a time on a payphone in jail, and then you have to wait 15 minutes to call back again. So he did a whole interview series from jail in 15-minute chunks over the course of like 3 weeks.
What?
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah, did you see that on Audible? What did you say?
It's on Audible somewhere. I forgot the name of it, but it's. I mean, the recording quality is not the best, but it's interesting to hear from him and his side and his point of view.
Okay, I want to probably look into that because I remember when that was happening. It was just like the biggest thing. It still is. I mean, I feel. Those people. Whew, that's a scam.
That's definitely a scam. And actually, what's interesting is hearing his point of view, where he's like,
"That's what I'm interested in."
So he definitely scammed everyone. All right? Like, there's no justification to that. But people also allowed themselves to get scammed in a way where they were getting these unrealistic returns. 18 plus whatever, right? And they would have these stupid demands like, I can never lose on a trade, which means in stocks, normally, let's say you trade 100 stocks, you just want to have a positive ratio where like 60% of it makes you money and then 40% either breaks even or doesn't make money. And that's normal, right? People, his customers have these demands. They're like, I never want to see a single, loss. I only want my account to go up. I never want to see a dip. And he would just be like, okay. And then he would just like, fluff that number. And then, then obviously all fell apart at the end. But a lot of it is like these fucking unrealistic expectations of people, of a consumer.
That's incredible, actually. That's something you probably would never hear, honestly, is like their end of how their demands were. Cause that's something I didn't know.
Yeah.
And let's be real. That's not possible.
Yeah. And I think like when people say dropshipping is a scam, it definitely isn't. Like, we've now met enough people that have successful dropshipping stores that actually make real money. And then people like you that were doing it in like an ethical way, selling good products and giving back.
Yeah, I still don't understand it. I guess, really, maybe I'm not diving too deep into the troll world of,
That's probably a good thing that you avoid Reddit.
Wherever these people coming from. But like, dropshipping is definitely feasible. I mean, like, people are doing it across the world. And during my journey through Chiang Mai and now in Bali, like I've met countless people that are doing it through either Shopify, or eBay. I mean, like, and just absolutely, even Etsy. I've actually met an Etsy person, which is interesting, but like, it's incredible, right? Like, it's not, I don't understand. Like, maybe it's because they've tried and failed or, they're not picking it up or whatever the reasons may be. It's possible. You know what I mean? It's definitely possible.
So I think I've been like putting way too much energy trying to fight this war. I think I'm just going to let people think whatever the fuck they want to do. And I'm just going to do my own thing. Cause I've gotten so much heat and so much trouble for being like the voice of reason and be like, no, you fucking idiots. Like,
yeah,
it works.
This is risky business to be on your podcast right now. Right? I was flying under the radar so well.
Oh man,
I'm just kidding, man.
No. But like seriously, like, the more people that like you who actually come on interviews or speak up about it, the more people are like, oh, okay, well, maybe it doesn't work for some people, and it doesn't. Like every business, just like the digital franchise you bought in. Yeah, I'm pretty sure not every single person is successful with it. All right.
No, yeah, there was a handful of people that failed during my time too, like the 2 years. Yeah,
and that's a 20+K investment. It's huge.
Yeah.
And like the nice thing about dropshipping stores is like all in all, like you're not spending more than a few $1,000s. All in all, like if anything, on your second and third store, you're spending like a couple $100.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, your first store you're going to spend more money because you probably don't know exactly what you're doing. Yeah. Plus, it's the whole startup cost, like if you're getting the course or whatever. Yeah. But like once that's done, I mean, like you can start a store for like what,
$500?
$500, yeah, $500 to $800, maybe. Yeah. Like that's really pushing it. But I mean, like, yeah, there's a very low startup cost. Like,
anyways, so enough about that. I want to talk about Bali. Okay.
Yeah, let's jump to the.
I definitely want to talk about
the present.
So, Robert and I met in Chiang Mai. He was part of the Dropship partnership. And even though that's officially over now, we're still hanging out.
Yeah, we're still hanging out. We're still communicating. Yeah, everyone
still friends with everyone in the group.
Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of family.
For sure.
And I think a few of them are holding on to the original plan of running the store, making it profitable, keeping it for 12 months, and then selling it for a big amount. And a bunch of people have said, you know what, let me just focus on other things. And they just flipped it for, $1,000 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So now that we're in Bali, what made you come to Bali?
I was in Chiang Mai for a long period of time. And then I decided that I wanted to see a beach. And, I was ready to go out of Thailand. So Canggu was basically that place. I mean, like, I've heard nothing but good things. They have good Wi-Fi. There's actually a co-working space. You're on the beach and there's Wi-Fi. I mean, like, and it wasn't that expensive to get here from Chiang Mai. So that was a good place.
So Canggu, Bali is north of Kuta. So you can fly into Denpasar, I think it is.
Yep.
And it's not that far. It's on paper, it's probably only like 10 miles or something, but it takes about an hour to get from the airport to Canggu Beach. Probably the most famous beach, if you want to look at a map, is called Echo Beach. Or there's a restaurant called Old Man's something.
Yep.
We're actually like very close to. We're like a block away from.
One block away.
Yeah.
Literally 1 block away. And Canggu, I came here really because of, the idea of learning to surf, being on a beach. I wanted to conquer that fear I've always had of basically surfing in general in the ocean. So, and then my partner was coming out to meet me, and she's a big beach person. So we decided basically on Canggu 100%. Actually, it's funny, the Chiang Mai community, there's like a whole group of people, like 50 or 60 people that are all coming to Bali to kind of relocate during burning season and whatnot. And I've been running into people left and right, and there's other people in Ubud that I ran into. It's kind of cool. I mean, there's been other people that have also decided to come here as well for the surf, beach, and the lifestyle.
I think this year is going to be, Bali as like the destination to get away from birdie season. So birdie season is from around, I guess, it's all March basically.
Yeah.
It starts a few weeks before, it goes a few weeks after. And some people are like, oh, tough it out in Chiang Mai. And then the air quality starts getting bad. So then they leave and they automatically just look on Facebook. They're like, where is everyone else? And they see, oh, Robert and Johnny are in Bali. Let's go to Bali.
Yeah.
And that's how it starts.
Yep.
Last year was Koh Lanta. I think some people tried to do it in Koh Phangan another year. Actually, so I'm curious, have you been to Koh Lanta, Koh Phangan?
I actually haven't been to the islands south in Thailand. No, not yet.
So most people end up, when they want to get to a beach, they go to either Koh Phangan or Koh Lanta.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. Not that many people talk about Bali. I'm very curious why.
I wonder that too. Honestly, I have no idea. But once I came here, I realized why aren't more people talking about this place? Honestly, it's literally, it's vacation, but also there's amazing Wi-Fi. So I was literally working on the beach yesterday. I was doing I don't want to say the douchey digital nomad thing, but yeah, I was doing it.
Okay. I don't know if I'd call it amazing, but I would say
it's not
usable Wi-Fi.
It's usable. I mean, there's the cafes, majority of them have good Wi-Fi. There's a ton of cafes that have decent good Wi-Fi. If you're a YouTuber, maybe not the best place because the down and up speed is not over 20.
Definitely. And for most places, it's like 3 megs down, maybe 3 megs up or something, which is definitely usable if you guys are just going through email, spreadsheets, running a dropshipping store, whatever it is. As long as you're not uploading big videos,
files, for sure.
Files.
Yeah, I actually, when I first came here, it's not one thing I did realize in difference to Chiang Mai. Chiang Mai is very I guess the term is plug and play. You can go there and you're in, you're into the culture, you're living, you know exactly where to go, where to hang out,
you meet tons of people.
Everything's already built.
Super, welcoming.
Yeah.
People are like, it's like college. It's like your first year of college.
It strangely resembles that, but also it's professional,
Yeah.
So
people there's a lot of people building real businesses there.
Honestly, it's actually quite unbelievable. But when I first came out here, it was not as plug and play for sure. I didn't know anybody. I couldn't find. There was one Facebook group called Canggu Community. Trying to interact with people, trying to find an apartment. I felt like I was trying to get scammed nonstop from people. Basically they're giving me locations, and then once I got here, I realized they weren't good locations, and stuff like that. So but once I got here, my first thing was to find a place to stay, and I literally went and traveled to I'd say 25 to 30 different guest houses that were in the area, and kind of negotiated till I found a place that I liked. And right now my guest house is $300 a month. Yeah.
Solid.
Value. Good value, really good value. They literally it's like a hotel. They come, they change the sheets, give me new towels. It's really effing nice. And then I literally went to every single one, and I brought my laptop and I tested the down and
Wi-Fi
up speed.
Smart. Yeah, that's very smart.
Literally the one that was perfect location, right over a rice paddy field. It was amazing. Everything was so good, but it was 0.5 down. Yep. And I'm like, listen, man, I'll give you an extra 500K or $1 million. I don't care. Just to get faster internet. He's like, Rob, I can't do it, man. I just can't do it. I'm like, I can't live here then. Because
that's insane, right?
Coming from Chiang Mai, I was living in a place where the down speed in my apartment was, I couldn't work. And that I realized is something I'll never do again. Because sometimes I want to leave a coffee shop and actually go home and just sit on my bed and work.
Yeah. Well, you want to watch a YouTube video.
Yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I literally want to just sit in my apartment and just do something. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Other than
it's
read
like
and
super
play.
hot out one day or it's raining one day. You're just like, I just want to stay home.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do that in Chiang Mai for, the tail end of me staying there.
Where were you staying in Chiang Mai?
It's like a secret place. No. I was paying, it's called the Siri, but it was like not the Siri that you were at.
Oh, so like the knockoff Siri.
There's a knockoff Siri. Literally, it was like, I would suggest that going there if you're on a budget.
Yeah. How much was it per month?
You want me to give this away?
Yeah.
Okay. So it was, the one, there's actually 2 locations and they're right almost next to each other. The one is $75 a month. American.
$75 a month?
Yeah, and the other one's 100. So I was staying in the 100 one because the $75 filled up.
Oh, this is hilarious.
Yeah, $100 a month.
That's
not even
insane.
joking. Yeah, dude. I mean, like, it was actually a really nice accommodation other than the Wi-Fi.
So 3,500 baht?
Yeah, 3,004. Yeah.
That's cheap. I've actually stayed in a place that was 3,500 before, so I know it's fine. It's good. It's good to bootstrap.
Dude,
it's pretty smart.
It's very good for bootstrapping.
Yeah.
I mean, you can live there for, whole year.
Yeah.
It's like my rent for 1 month in Philadelphia.
Right? It's insane. So here's kind of what I've learned about Wi-Fi. Pretty much, I guess both in Chiang Mai and here is you get what you pay for, I guess, right? Like the more expensive a place is, in general, the better the Wi-Fi is. Especially like if it's a newer building, they just in general have better Wi-Fi. But I think your tip about just going there either with your laptop or I guess you could just do a speed test on your phone and checking it before you commit. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, 100% do that. If you can just bring your laptop, it's super easy. And like everywhere has Wi-Fi. It's like if they don't have Wi-Fi, you're probably not going to stay there. That's literally like was my first question.
Yeah. So I think that in general, the Wi-Fi in Chiang Mai is way better.
In general.
Way better.
They have, because, another big difference from Chiang Mai and Canggu is that, like, Chiang Mai is way more modern. Like, that's just the bottom line. I mean, there's something called AIS there. And AIS is like, basically a cell phone carrier, which here doesn't even, they don't even really have real cell phone carriers. Like,
What do you mean by that?
like, you literally just go to, like, these random, like, I don't even know what they're called, like just random street stores that you go and buy data from. I don't even know if there's actual.
We call them a bodega.
Yeah,
like in New York.
That's
like,
it. Yeah,
like a liquor store.
Yeah, exactly. And then you just go, you pick up your data, and that's that. I mean, like I
actually bought my SIM card in the airport, and I definitely overpaid. I think it was like $30-something when it should be like $5. Right?
To be honest with you, I'm rolling without data.
Come on, man.
And it's actually probably I'm not proud of this either because I'm like into photography and so is my partner. We do a lot of adventuring and we've caught ourselves in some times where having data would probably have been pretty helpful to get out of like,
Come on, dude.
Places
go pick up a $5 SIM card. Go to the bodega.
I mean, like, it's actually kind of like nice to detach, like when you're.
It's amazing to detach,
but I think
it's good to have the option to attach if you need to.
I think doing the no notification thing is a good option because that's been like my.
Look, my phone. It's been 30 minutes and my phone has not gone off once.
I think that's going to be my next move because for me, like that's why I kind of like having no data is because like it help whenever I'm not.
You.
Yeah, it literally forces me to have no data, and like I've been using this app that's like for offline maps. It works pretty well, but like when you're stuck in the middle of a jungle, man, and like you don't know where the shit you're at.
Yeah. So my tip for travel bosses, if you want to be a travel peasant, you can go get away with no data. But if you're a boss, turn off the notifications so you have peace of mind. But then get a SIM card as soon as you land wherever you go. And for us, the reason why we had to get a SIM card at the airport was those taxi motherfuckers at the airport were so annoying that I just refused to get into any of them. And I was like, I'm going to call an Uber no matter what it takes. So, we had to get a SIM card for that. And just kind of give people an idea. You get out of, Bali airport. It's beautiful. It's like it reminds you of Hawaii. But then you get literally 150 taxi drivers running up to you, like trying to touch you and grab you and say, get in my car, this much. And the amount of money is so hard to calculate, especially when you just arrive, because they'll be like, oh yeah, one person will say 150,000. And you're like, what the fuck does that mean? And someone else is like, 1 million and you're like, $1 million? What? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah. Going from the currency difference of Chiang Mai to here is quite extreme. Like, you instantly become a millionaire, and that's pretty much check that off your bucket list. I'm a millionaire now.
And I got scammed in Vietnam and Saigon by a taxi driver.
Really?
Where I knew it was gonna and people had warned me, so I watched the meter. I made sure they used the meter. I watched it, but turns out they put an extra 0 in there. So instead of me paying, whatever, $13, it ended up being like $130 or something by accident. And because the money's so stupid with all the zeros, it was so hard to just figure out, especially you just got off a long flight, you're tired, you're a bit disorientated.
Yeah.
And you just want to get to the hotel room. You changed in a bunch of currency from another currency, and now you have a stack of cash that you don't know what any of the bills are. And that's how they fuck you.
You're not in hustle mode at the moment.
Yeah.
Or the reality of where you're at. It's tough to get acquainted for sure. I mean, and I think that's for a lot of people when they're traveling. As soon as you land, it's tough to get acquainted to exactly what the culture is, and everything. I realized pretty quickly that everything is negotiable in Canggu, just like it is in Chiang Mai. For the most part, when it comes to buying, I guess with vendors at least.
I like Chiang Mai that it's now, most places now have set prices, and they display it.
Yeah. Cause
I hate even that spending that effort to argue and say and try to get, and not even try to get a bargain, but just try to get a fair price.
Yeah, and I think other than street vendors, Chiang Mai doesn't have that, doesn't have the bargaining ability maybe here. Same with street vendors here as well. But when you're a foreigner, they're always trying to upsell you, give you that extra price. And if you're not aware of that, if you don't bargain down, you're gonna basically lose it. You're losing out, and
it's not even about the money, because at the end of the day, it might only be $1 difference,
right.
But it's the principle behind it. Number one. And then second, it messes it up for all the other tourists who may be on a budget, and it just drives the price up for no reason.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I think realistically, when you come to Southeast Asia, be willing to bargain with vendors in general. That's a general tip, I think. If you're going to a street vendor, any type of fair like that, be ready to negotiate and bring it down.
So the biggest annoyance with Canggu or Bali is the lack of Uber.
Yeah,
where they have the app, it works sometimes. But it 90% of the time, you'll request one, it'll say it's 10 minutes away, and it'll just never come.
Yeah, see, I haven't used it just yet, but I did hear that it's gone through a pretty tough time here in Bali, Uber in general, and I think for the most part, it's scarce. There's a high scarcity of Uber drivers, our Uber driver at the airport, we're lucky to even get one, because the first one actually, he parked, I kid you not, a mile away outside of the airport. And he's like, I'm here. Can you walk over? I'm like, no, I'm not fucking walking over. And I had to cancel, got another one. Luckily, he actually came and picked us up. But then he said, I can't use the Uber app. You have to give me cash. And I was like, I've never heard of this from an Uber driver, just demanding cash instead of using the app. Yeah.
But at that point, I was like, you know what? We have to get to the hotel. This is our last option. So we did it. And after we actually negotiated and we talked to him more, we realized he wasn't actually trying to scam us, even though it seemed like it. Mm. It's that the fact that he's going to drive an hour to drop us off. And then normally he can, with the way Uber works, is then he hangs out in that area, gets another fare, drives back somewhere else. And then, everybody's happy. But they have this local taxi mafia here where they don't let him pick anyone up. So he basically has to drive an hour back to the airport with no payment. And that's why he had to double the price.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly it. There is a legit taxi mafia here. And, that's kind of why I haven't even used Uber, because I heard about this before even coming here. And I was like, okay, so Uber is going to be out of the question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to have a scooter out here.
Yeah, scooter. No, there's no joke. It's not like Chiang Mai where you can walk around everywhere in the old town or in Neiman.
That's the other thing I like about Chiang Mai is the walkability.
Very walkable.
If you live in Neiman or if you live in the old city, I guess you can even walk to both. It's only 15 minutes.
It really is. Now you can walk to both for sure. Here, it's totally not
impossible. It is literally impossible.
I mean, you could, but you're going to be walking majority of your day.
And it's hot as fuck here. It's hot as balls.
Yeah, when it's
humid.
Midday, you are dying.
Humid, sweaty balls.
It is hot for sure. There's no
way more humid than Chiang Mai.
Yes. Yeah, but I mean, you got to think about it, man. We're literally on an island. I mean, and I think we're pretty close to the equator. No,
I think we're closer. I don't
closer.
know. So definitely hotter here. I think I love Canggu as a destination spot, as in a holiday spot, a vacation spot. I could recommend this to 100% of people if you want to come for 2 weeks, or maybe even a month.
Yeah.
I do not recommend it for someone trying to come and crush a business or grow a business or start a business.
I think it really depends on what kind of person you are. I mean, for me, coming here, I realized, I have to get more. It made me realize I had to focus more on my businesses because I was getting distracted way easier than in Chiang Mai. Like Chiang Mai, it's so easy to get in grind mode because like everyone's grinding.
Everyone's grinding.
Like, and there's every coffee shop, there's people with laptops open. You know, there's people like literally, in the zone, like they're working. Coming here, much different mentality. Like everyone's on vacation. Everyone's like, partying. Everyone's enjoying their like, enjoying the day, enjoying the sun. Like, you have to really want to work. Yeah.
And even at the co-working space, everyone I met was like an alternative health coach, or like, it's just like nobody was actually like building, like nobody I met was an entrepreneur trying to like, make a big business themselves. I actually have heard, at least, and I can imagine people who are already successful that either have a lot of passive income coming in or they've sold a big business, they will come here and just surf for a month and just chill. Maybe they'll check email at a cafe or something. So there's definitely, I'm sure there are some higher end people here, but they definitely didn't build those businesses in Canggu.
Yeah, I definitely think you're probably on point when it comes to, it's a lot more scarce when it comes to the people that are grinding to build here. I mean, like, honestly, because I think the Wi-Fi issue, I mean, like, it's not as strong, but, at the same token, like, you're at a beach. Like, it's not so easy to concentrate. Like, when you got the beach, like, literally, like, 5 minutes from you, like, you can go surf and, like, but at the same token, for me, I use that as mini vacations, as Tim Ferriss would say. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I finish something that's like my objective for the day, and I literally go surf for 2 hours.
Yeah, I like that. And it's good, like, health balance of doing both. And I'm not saying this is a bad place for digital nomads. I think this is the perfect place to do exactly what you said and just get away and just have that work-life balance. Maybe enjoy yourself, surf, eat healthy, do some yoga.
The food here is damn good.
It's very good, especially if you are like Mr. Botto here and a
vegetarian.
Veggie.
Yeah, it's really good for sure.
Yeah. I like it a lot, and I feel healthier overall here. Actually, I think it's definitely healthier than Thai food. It's a lot easier to get salads and vegetables. There's a lot more vegetarian options if that is what you're into.
Yeah,
I do miss like the richness. Like, I don't think I've had butter since I've been here.
A lot more raw options for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely miss my Thai food as well. Like, honestly, like
I actually really like the food here, but I think it's just because it's new. It's like change of pace, and it is tasty.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say if I had to think long-term wise, Thai food's better. Tastes better.
I would definitely say that. I mean, the food here, exceptional. Thai food, also exceptional. Like, it's tough to give preference, honestly, because they both have such different styles. But even, I can't even honestly say that. Like, the Indonesian food, like the local Indonesian food it's also heavily based around rice and, like, vegetables and stuff like that. Yeah. So as a vegetarian, like, it's just like the spice that's going to be.
I can almost, I agree. I think it's just lacking in the spices. Yeah. And they have their own versions of, like, sauces, but like in Thailand, there's like such a wide variety of curries and different spices and herbs and everything. But I can see as a vegetarian, I would probably like it here better. Yeah. So I think we can safely say if you're a vegetarian, you're going to love the food in Bali.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, honestly, both destinations, they're both really good.
So was it easy to eat vegetarian in Chiang Mai?
Honestly, yeah. I'm not going to lie. I became vegetarian in Chiang Mai.
Okay.
Because like I was enjoying the vegetarian food much more than the meat. So like, I transitioned over and I was like, wow, I feel a lot better. And like, from that point on, I'm now vegetarian.
What's funny is, I really like vegetables. I actually like the taste of it.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I always order meat dishes is just because that's kind of like the easier thing to order.
Right.
And also there just wasn't really, like pretty often you go somewhere and like, there isn't that many vegetables. Here, what I've been doing is I've been ordering things like the vegan quinoa and avocado cashew salad, and then I'll just ask for a side of chicken with it. And people just think I'm insane, but then it's the perfect balance because it's 90% vegetables and a little bit of meat for flavor.
Yeah, I mean you're able to pick and choose, and like I think, like you said, here has a lot more like. Vegetarian is like almost on every menu.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
Like,
especially in Canggu.
Yeah.
Especially this specific area that we're in.
Yeah.
Which is, what would you call this area? Old man's?
Yeah, I guess.
Old man's area?
Old man's area. But to belong is like the technical term, but to belong or whatever. But
my advice to people, if you want to check this specific area around is book a hotel room near Old Man's Restaurant Beach for 2 nights, 3 nights maybe. And then when you get here, get a scooter, start at Old Man's, work your way away from the beach, going down all the side streets, all the side stories. So I'm not actually on that main street. I'm one street over, which is a lot quieter. You have more room. It's cheaper. There's still, a couple nice restaurants here. This place called Fat Chicken, which I like. Serenity Yoga is right across from where I am.
Yeah.
And I'm getting a fucking steal for this resort.
Yeah, this is a resort, man.
Yeah.
This is a resort.
And so you can also negotiate with places and get a monthly rate, just for cheaper. Because I think per night this room was supposed to be like $60 a night, which would have been $2,000 if I stayed here for the month. But because I told them, I was like, hey, I'm going to stay here for a month. Can you hook me up? And because they just opened and they're still doing like some gardening work and it's not, completely finished yet and they had vacancies, they're like, yeah, we'll give you, we'll give it to you for $900 a month, which is a steal.
Yeah, that's for sure a steal. And I think a lot of places in Canggu also will negotiate if you're willing to negotiate with them.
Yeah, I can see that. But it is nice to hear that there are options where you can get a room for, was it $300 a month?
Yeah, mine's $300. Yeah, and I mean,
no pool.
It has no pool, no.
Yeah.
But I do have a kitchen, community kitchen, I guess you could say, where you can cook and they have free water, everything like that.
And how far away from here are you? Are you past the main street or before?
I am I'm on Barrow Road, which is from here it's maybe 10 minutes away, and I have to do some side streets, which is you passed it. I think I saw it on your Instagram story. It's that rice paddy road that literally
you have to go through that.
Yeah, so that's like a daily commute for me to get to here, or Old Man's and stuff like that. It's become so normal for me. I haven't seen anyone fall into this field yet, but if maybe you can paint a picture and
So there is a street that isn't even listed on Google Maps because I don't think it's an actual street. It is literally a rice paddy with a walkway down the middle of it that saves you 20 minutes of driving if you just want to go from one street to the other.
Yeah.
And it is a 2-way street that can literally fit one car.
It's a good car and a half.
What happens is people see an opening and they just drive as fast as possible across this death way trying to get to the other side before another car comes, and then people get stuck for hours, right? Because if two cars meet in the middle, that's it. There's nothing they can do.
Yeah, it gets to the point where it's someone has to back up basically, and this isn't a short road by any
it's like a block.
It's a
city block.
It's a little bit longer than a city block, I'd say. Yeah, because there's even an uphill part that
and you can't see another. Oh my god! So
it's
okay. So my advice to people is look on a map really closely. I would personally recommend not staying on that side of it because that road is a bit of, I'm sure once you get used to it, right?
Yeah.
But it's unnecessary stress and unnecessary traffic if you can stay on this side.
But Barrow, the road that I'm staying on is on the other side, the side that's, I guess you have to cross this road, this rice paddy road. And Barrow is there's a ton of good restaurants on that road.
There are. And, it's a shame because I want to go back to Naked Cafe where we met the first day and co-worked, which I think is actually, from what I've seen, one of the best cafes to co-work from.
Yeah.
It has an outdoor area that's nice, has indoor cafe that's air conditioned, food was good, people were super cool there. People there were way more welcoming at that cafe than actually at the co-working space. So I would work out of there again. I just don't want to drive across that rice paddy.
Yeah, that road is quite ridiculous. I mean, so it is what it is. I mean, it's part of the life here. And honestly, there's a whole Instagram about literally this road and people driving into the rice paddy fields. And it's quite fun. It's not funny, but it is kind of funny because I don't want to say it's funny because then that's going to happen to me. But sometimes you just get bumped off and you can't control it, because cars are that close to you.
And there's at least
next thing you know, you're in a rice paddy field.
There's a 5-foot drop into the rice paddy field too. It's insane.
Yeah, there's this whole Instagram about these cars literally driving headfirst into this.
I'm going to post that Instagram or at least some photos from it on the show notes. This is episode 52. 152 of the podcast. Yeah. You guys have to see that. That's hilarious. But the other street I would recommend not crossing or not living across is just the main road.
Oh,
because even though it's just a big street, it's like a highway that is filled with insane people from Mad Max.
Yeah, definitely 100% no. Definitely do not do that.
Serenity Yoga, look for that on a map. Anything that you can kind of walk from there would probably be good. Other than that, if you have to live outside of that, I would not. Personally, I would not stay here.
Yeah, Old Man's, I think, is a great starting point, like you said before as well. Like, honestly, going there and just working your way up.
Yeah.
There's...
So we apologize about the construction in the background. They're kind of fixing some things.
No
but
idea what they're doing.
I wanted to ask you real quick. Have you been to Ubud?
Yes.
What are your thoughts on Ubud versus Canggu?
Ubud is, in my opinion, more closely related to Chiang Mai, where it's like kind of like a city. There is like a square kind of esque, like a rectangle that like, where all the main, stores, cafes are and whatnot. But it's also 100% more quote unquote spiritual than here. Here you got the beachy vibes, surfers, skaters, whatnot. You go to Ubud, it feels like you're in a different realm over there. It's, people are really hardcore about holistic health, spirituality, yoga, and meditation. I mean, like, those all kind of intertwine. But yeah, right away you can almost recognize that. And yeah, I don't, just for me, I'm not too far into that whole scene. So like I went there with my partner for a few days and like I'm good. Like, you know what I mean? I did some of the touristy things and now I'm much happier in Canggu personally. So, right away opinions are much more spiritual, more like Chiang Mai, you're landlocked obviously. And, more into the holistic health if you're into that. Yeah.
Okay. So I've been to Ubud on vacation once 6 years ago. Didn't, before I was a digital nomad, before I worked online. So I can't say anything about the scene there or co-working or being a nomad. But I had that vibe too, where it was very yoga-ish and hippie-ish. I'm excited to check it out. I think if I came to Bali again, just kind of from my idea, I would definitely come to Bali for a month every year, just to chill by the beach, surf. And I would come here during my break when I wasn't trying to build something. I would just want to maintain a business or just live off passive income while, just enjoying life and pop into a cafe to check email once in a while. But Ubud, I'm excited to go. The co-working space there, Outpost, reached out to me and said, we want to invite you to come check out the space for a week and give a talk to our attendees there. And that's pretty cool. I like that they're doing that. Like, they're doing an outreach program or they're trying to get, different people who have something to share, come and kind of like just teach a workshop or something. So I'll report back on that, see how it is. But I'm interested.
Definitely let me know on that because that's interesting. I mean, I didn't check out any of the co-working spaces while I was out there, but it also, again, like, I think Bali in general doesn't have the plug-and-play mentality for digital nomads as Chiang Mai does. Like, once you're there, what's going on. Like, there's the coffee club. There's just, like, things that are happening that you can go and attend very easily. Here, I haven't even been to a meetup yet, like a digital nomad meetup at all. Like, I don't even know they exist, to be honest with you. So I've been kind of doing my own thing and meeting with the people I already know that are in my network. So it's that's a transition for me personally.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. So if you are brand new to this lifestyle and you want freshman year in college, go to Chiang Mai first, meet some friends, and then come to Canggu for vacation, for visa run or for birding season, and come stay for a month and just enjoy the crap out of it. Check out Ubud if you like that scene. Stay there. If you rather be, by the beach and surf, stay here.
I definitely advise going to Ubud 100% anyway. I mean, even if you're not into it, I'm not 100% into it, so it's just not my thing. But they do have like some really great things to go and see. I mean, there's more waterfalls up that area, so like if you're already in Ubud, you might as well there's like an hour and a half away from there. I'm a big waterfall person, like photography just makes sense. But like anyone, even if you're not into photography, like waterfalls are incredible. You can swim in some of them. And then like, Ubud also has this, monkey forest that, I think you should go to as well. Cause
I've actually been there.
Oh, dude, that's so much fun.
I hate monkeys, by the way. I think they're cute, but then they are evil.
They're evil.
They're evil.
But it was, for me, first time, it's a fun.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, I went scuba diving this weekend here in Bali, and it was incredible. It was like one of the best dives I've had anywhere. I wrote I'm writing a blog post about it right now, so you guys can check it out, johnnyft.com. I have a video on YouTube for it. But basically in Canggu, we're pretty far from the dive sites, but I found one shop, Atlantis, that would pick me up from around here. Ironically, they wouldn't pick me up from my hotel. They made me drive across that rice paddy field and then meet on that side, which I understand. But then they drove me an hour to their shop and then another hour to the dive site.
Whoa.
And it was one of the best dives of my life. I saw so much cool stuff. Saw seahorse. I saw like stingrays, these weird like rhinoceros frogfish. I saw just cool stuff. Flying weird creature. Just watch the video. You guys can see it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome. I didn't even know that was an option. Like, I mean, like, I just hear Gili all the time when it comes to doing diving.
I've been diving in Gili, 5 or 6 years ago, and it was beautiful there. I like that a lot. Gili is another place that I recommend for people to check out when you come to Bali. Don't try to co-work from there. Internet's terrible, I heard. But if you have your business automated or your passive income can come in, you can take a week off. Go to Gili, have fun, go diving. It's a little tiny island that you can walk. You can walk around the whole island in like hour and a half or something.
I haven't been yet. That's on my bucket list while I'm here.
I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, you can take like a quote unquote speedboat from I think Canggu to get there. So
yeah,
I think I'm gonna do it.
I don't know what the 4G is out there, but here's another reason why you should get a data plan is if the internet's crappy at your place or at a cafe or drops out, just switch to your hotspot.
Yeah.
I think I paid $30, which was overpriced, but I got 10 gigs of 3G. And it's not bad. It's not as good as, the 4G in Poland or even in Chiang Mai with, the AS super Wi-Fi and stuff, but it's usable. So I think I'm going to leave it at this, Bali in general, great place for people who want to get away for a month or two, want to be by a beach, want to hang out with friends or like, have like a trip out of it. I would definitely not recommend you come here alone and try to like plug yourself in. It's not as easy as it is in Chiang Mai. I wouldn't come here with no idea what to do with the business and try to build something from scratch here. And these are my personal opinions. I don't recommend Dojo as a co-working space. The cafes here are pretty decent to work out of. It's a lot cheaper. You're saving yourself $200 a month. In Chiang Mai, I really like the co-working scene there. I'm going to check out Outpost, see how that is. I'll report back on that. And overall, I would say I really like Bali. Actually, I would say I love Bali, but I would not live here year-round.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, and any kind of wrap-up thoughts?
I definitely suggest at least coming out here. If you get the opportunity, do it. I mean, even if it's just for vacation or whatever you're doing, I mean, come on out and like at least check it out and see if it's your for
cup
you.
Of tea.
Yeah, your cup of tea. I mean, honestly, it's we can talk about it all day, but until you're here, it's tough to You
got to see for yourself, right?
Yeah, exactly. And same goes for Chiang Mai too. I mean, like maybe that's not your thing, and you want to build a business on your own. I have no idea, but like it's not if you're starting a business like you said. Here is not going to be easy to network with other people starting businesses. That's a clear difference. I mean, I haven't been to Dojo yet, but like, so I can't really give any input on that, but like, it's different digital nomad scene here for sure.
Yeah, it definitely, kind of reminds me of, kind of high school or college with the different cliques and crowds here. But if that's your thing, you might love it.
There is a lot more nature here.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of like incredible waterfalls, mountains and stuff like that you can go and like, literally like within hours of driving. Like you can scooter almost anywhere in Bali. Like you could probably get around all of Bali fairly easily too. On a scooter. Like I've driven almost across it now and it takes like an hour and a half to get from like Canggu to past Denpasar to like I went to this abandoned like amusement park.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it's pretty small.
Very cool. So if you want to check out Robert's photos, what's your Instagram? Rob.life.visuals. Okay, nice. And do you have a blog or anything for people to follow you at?
Yeah, robertbotto.com.
Okay. Very cool, Robert. Thanks for coming out. I appreciate you hanging out and coming on the podcast. Travel Bosses, I hope you enjoyed that episode. And thanks again to TripStreak for your continued support. Remember, the next time you guys need to book a flight, check out tripstreak.com/travel-like-a-boss. And also huge thank you to everyone who's taken time to leave these amazing 5-star reviews of the podcast. Josh Wright Piano says, amazing business podcast with great life lessons. 5 stars. Johnny's podcast is very inspirational and enlightening. I'm an entrepreneur in the music industry, and the insights he shares are so beneficial to anyone wanting to expand their business into a passive income model. Thanks, Johnny, for all your hard work. I've learned many great business and life lessons from listening to your podcast. Thanks, Josh. I'm really happy to hear that, and thank you so much for taking the time to leave a review on the iTunes store. If you guys haven't done it yet, please, please, please do it. It helps so much grow the show, continue to get great sponsors like TripStreak, as well as allows me to continue putting out episodes every single week just for you. So go to the iTunes store or through the iTunes app on your computer and leave a review today. Thanks again. See you next week. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the Travel Like a Boss podcast. If you want to hear more, including the bonus, How to Choose the Perfect Niche episode, join our mailing list at travellikeabosspodcast.com. See you next week, and remember, if you want to travel like a boss, you need to be your own boss. So start your online business today and start living the lifestyle you've always dreamed of.